Spooky, scary skeletons and shivers down your spine.
When I get out the dark lip glosses and lipsticks, like, you know it's fall. Hey guys, what's up? It's Bella. So, like, I'm so ready for Halloween. This video I'm super excited to film and share the stories of because it's scary clown stories. And guess what? Your girl ain't afraid of clowns. Even after seeing it, which was actually really good. I would recommend seeing it if you are 14 and older. It was really, like, the movie wasn't scary to me, I loved the storyline. And I'm gonna be sharing some scary clown stories with y'all because everyone's afraid of clowns, and what better way to have a Belloween than to make scary stories. So this is gonna be really fun for me to tell because, okay, the reason why I'm not afraid of clowns and the reason why you shouldn't be afraid of clowns is because they're just people, and if they are killers, they are terrorists literally behind masks. They're such cowards that they can't even show their real face. Just putting that out there. So, okay, the first clown story that I'm going to be talking about is the Harlequin clown. So, okay, this clown is basically described as a demon or a ghost, like, that takes the form of a clown. And this one person would report seeing him. I think it was multiple people actually, but on the wiki it says a man named Dan Mitchell. And so, like, that's this, I don't know if this is true or not, but it's just what's reported. Basically, the clown was described as looking a lot like Slenderman. So if you can imagine, like, a really thin body, and he was also described as having, like, a really surprised or shocked face. So, like, that's pretty much what he looked like, with, like, wide eyes and an open mouth, kind of like, I don't know why I just did that. So, okay, this is a quote from the site. With its motley, strange clothing, the entity looked like a harlequin, but it called itself the Tooth Fairy. That's kind of weird. So there's a lot of theories about what this creature could be, because I think that he saw him, like, physically. That's what it kind of sounds like. So these theories include it could either be, like, a demon or a hyperactive imagination. And, like, chances are if he never had any illness or, like, disease in his mind, it was probably, like, a demon or something, if you believe in that, which I do. So, like, okay, this is the encounter that I'm getting into now. So this guy, Dan Mitchell, his family never saw the clown and they never believed him about it. Because, I mean, would you really believe someone? Okay, I'm just gonna read from the wiki now, because it's the encounter, so I'm just gonna put some spooky music on. Let's get into it. Like a night in spring 1981, when the Mitchell family sat down for dinner. I remember that my dad was very agitated, Mitchell said. He kept saying that he was hearing somebody walking around upstairs. I was terrified by this, because my dad was so agitated, and I had never seen him scared like that. He was a very tough guy. Then, Mitchell's father shot up from the dinner table, terror freezing his face. Immediately, there was a voice that he heard coming from upstairs, Mitchell said. While I want to say that it sounded like a sinister and terrifying laugh, I believe it was just a howl of some sort that caused a tingling feeling up my spine. Then his father laughed, the look of terror still gripping him. He was frozen with this awful look on his face, he said. Everybody at the table was just frozen. The next thing I remember is waking up at the dinner table with milk spilled all over myself and the table. His family simply resumed eating dinner, the laugh seemingly forgotten. The situation was so traumatic to my young mind that I honestly believe that I have blotted a large portion of this event out, Mitchell said. I have always thought that whatever was visiting me in my room that night was this person walking around in the upstairs of our house, possibly looking for me or wondering where I had went. Guys, that's terrifying. And this is, like, reported. This is true. This guy, like, this is a real encounter this guy had. So Mitchell recently mentioned the dinner event to his father. My dad turned white, like he thought it was a bad dream, he said. He really was adamant about not talking about the subject any further when I kept pursuing it. but Mitchell later found his family had known about the visitor all along. This is my first time reading this. I'm such an unprepared YouTuber. Okay. Trying to pull more information from his mother and brothers, Mitchell found a number of strange occurrences surrounding his family during the 1980s. So far, one of my brothers doesn't have any memories of anything strange going on at the first house, but he does have a really creepy memory of the house he moved into after that one, Mitchell said. His brother remembers he and Mitchell bicycling near their home when a homeless guy on a weird-looking bicycle began chasing them. He described the bicycle as being overly large, like a three-wheeler, something you'd see in a circus, Mitchell said. And what's creepy about that is that I have a similar memory, but I always thought it was a dream. He remembers this well because he was terrified that the guy was going to catch up with me because I had fallen so far behind him. That's so terrifying. Like, yeah, if a clown's freaking chasing me with a knife, I'm gonna be terrified. If a human's chasing me with a knife that just looks normal, I'm gonna be just as terrified. So, Mitchell knows his father saw the Harlequin at least once. They were together when it happened. As Mitchell grew, the entity's visits to his room stopped, but he knew the Harlequin hadn't left him. In 1991, Mitchell, then 15, and his father were driving from the family's cabin in the north woods of Wisconsin into the nearby town of Eagle River when they encountered someone on the road. There was this steep hill we would drive down on our way into town, Mitchell said. Sometimes as we were driving, my dad would turn out the headlights on his truck as we flew down this hill. We were on our way into town one night when he did this. One night, Mitchell's father thought better of it and turned on the headlights, and they saw someone walking up the hill. When we got to the top of the hill in the truck, this guy was walking on the gravel road pushing a stroller, Mitchell said. Now, it was probably 9:30 at night, pitch black, and who would push a stroller in the pitch black? As Mitchell's father drove by the figure, Mitchell knew something was wrong. I could tell this guy was hiding his face, he said. There was just something not right about it. When the figure disappeared, in the distance and darkness, Mitchell could feel they'd just driven by the Harlequin. My dad looked a little bothered by it as well, Mitchell said, but he didn't say anything, probably to keep me calm. I was really not wanting to go back to the cottage because it was headed that way. Okay, I'm going to read one last encounter because this is the creepiest one. Okay. Mitchell didn't see the Harlequin again until 1994. I ran into this same being a few years later, he said. I was driving with a few friends late at night on our way home from a party. The young men saw a teenage girl walking in the street in front of the car, her movements strange and jerky. We thought that maybe she was drunk, Mitchell said. Someone in the car thought it was a friend of theirs, so we were going to pick her up and give her a ride home. As they slowed to pull closer, the girl began to walk towards the car. As she closed to near 30 feet, Mitchell realized the person was wearing a bad wig. My first impression was that it was a man dressed like a woman, he said. She looked incredibly angry and was even making jerkier movements that were almost threatening. One of Mitchell's friends whispered in fear. Oh my gosh, the boy said. Look at her eyes. Mitchell knew those overly large, round eyes. They were the eyes of the Harlequin. Somebody in the car said floor it, and Mitchell did, but the car didn't move. The car died and we were basically pulled out, he said. The next thing everybody remembers is being a mile down the street, back in the car, wondering how we made it there that quickly. Everyone was terrified. There was panic in that car, he said. I can tell you that every guy I dropped off that night made a mad dash to their front doors. I, unfortunately, had to drive back that way, but luckily didn't see her again. He's convinced the thing he and his friends saw that night was the Harlequin. I got a pretty good look at her, and I can tell you that it was obvious that she was trying to disguise herself, he said. It was the same face of perpetual shock, but this time it terrified me completely. I had the feeling that she was yelling at me for some reason. My honest impression that night was that this person was dead or simply not human. I'm getting chills. So, okay, here's a little bit of background on the Harlequin. The clown-like Harlequin character dates back to the 1300s Europe. appearing in Dante's Inferno as one of Hell's Angels. Devils. Hell's Angels? What? Hell's Devils. And in much of the European theater. The Harlequin is traditionally physically agile while simultaneously being glutinous and insipid. But this theatrical character is based on something ancient and real. So like basically this is just a character. This is basically like a character in 1300s plays. Many cultures and religions possess the concept of a harlequin-like trickster god, such as Coyote the Trickster or Loki. Thanks for watching. Click that thumbs up if you like this video and hit that subscribe button for more videos like this if you want to see more videos like this. Also, because it's Halloween and I'm going to be posting a lot of videos containing spooky things and also some fall things because I love both. Thank you for watching. I will see you guys next video. Bye.